Hey everybody, welcome to Monday Night Live in Lexington, you guys. I wanted to do something different and I wanted to get outside this evening. It is so nice. Look at how beautiful this is in Lexington this evening. It's clear blue skies and a little bit of a breeze. The temperature's calming down now. And so it is really, really nice. What I'm going to do, since part 2 did not save and I could not upload it to my YouTube channel. Oh, I also need to do a sound check. Can anybody chime in and see if my sound is working okay and see if you can hear me okay? Just let me know. Hey Victoria, hey David, hey Danny, hey Patricia, how are you guys doing? Nice to see you, Danny. Hey Judy, nice to see you, and Lauren. Hey Lauren. So yeah, just anybody let me know if the sound is working okay. So Jen says, I can hear you great. Thank you so much. What do you think about my background for tonight? Hey Rita. I want to go over, hey Patricia, I want to go over some of the part 2 stuff that we missed because it didn't save. And I wanted to also, I know there's a couple of people, hey Edie, there's a couple of people that wanted to know tonight how to get rid of negative attachments, and I really don't want to skip that tonight, but I want to hit on a few of the negative attachments that you can get. Thank you, Jen. So, first off, let's go over a few of the symptoms of a negative attachment, and that would be lethargy, feeling exhausted, feeling like you're drained, feeling like you're oppressed. Certain mental disorders can be a symptom of entity attachment. Feeling heaviness or pressure around your aura, a change in the personality, developing new vices, or just a total change of how you interact with people. Hey Cheryl, hey Judy. So Judy says she can't see or hear me. So if you guys could let us know if that is going on, or if maybe Judy, if you reboot your phone, you might be able to, because I don't think anybody else is having any problems, but you guys let me know, okay, in the comments down there. A negative outlook on life. If you feel a bizarre haunting feeling and horrifying dreams, that can be like one of the major symptoms of an entity attachment. Hey Doreen, hey Patricia. Patricia sees and hears me okay, so I would turn your phone off and reboot it. So Pam, hey Pam. So those are a few of the symptoms of negative entity attachments and places that you can get an entity attachment, especially if you have abilities, are hospitals, clinics, any place that you're going to be administered anesthesia where you can't protect your aura. Thank you, Cheryl. Nursing homes, funeral homes. These are places where the confused deceased kind of linger, and they will attach to someone that has any type of abilities in the vicinity. Any areas that are haunted locations, areas of traumatic events or natural disasters, or a place where maybe a murder occurred. Hey Pam, those are prevalent areas to get an attachment. If you're going to a haunted location, you always need to use some kind of psychic protection before you go to prevent a negative entity attachment. And then that can still, even when you do use protection, that can still happen. And so you'll want to know really good cleansing techniques so that you can get rid of an attachment afterwards, which is what we're going to go into this evening. So now, if you guys have any questions about this material, because I'm just kind of running over what we've already been over, but since we lost last week's video, I feel like I need to just hit the highlights again. Hey, Trish. So attachments that you can get. One of the first attachments are, and I call them thought forms, but some older references call them etheric parasites. And those are temporary beings that are created in the etheric plane that have an attachment capability. And what they do is they influence physical events at the quantum level to cause things to happen so that the person puts off that negative emotion that they need to feed off of. So let's see, Edie has, oh, thank you, Edie. She likes my background here. Thank you very much. It's so beautiful here. Patricia has a question. Could it be someone in your past? And please tell how to protect yourself. Yes, it could be somebody in your past. Anybody can create a negative thought form or an etheric parasite. The way that you would protect yourself is like a multitude of things. You're going to employ psychic protection, which the first thing that you need to do, Patricia, is determine whether that thing has attached to you first or not, because you would want to do a cleansing, and then you would want to do protection. So the cleansing would come first, and I'm going to go over ways to get rid of an attachment, so pay attention to that. And then, Patricia, what I'll do is send you a video on how to do psychic protection that I have, and that will tell you everything you need to know about that. Hey, Kathleen. Hey, Jean. Hey, Lolly and Judy. So, the etheric parasite is a really temporary type of being, and it's usually easily rid of that. So, those things are not really that much of a problem. Now, it does talk about people with clairvoyant vision and how they see parasitic entities. And parasitic entities are always going to be like an offshoot or an off bud of the aura. And they're going to be red, black, or brown. And you can, if you have clairvoyant vision, you can kind of see those things will look like little larvae that have attached to them. Now, most often they will attach at the back of the neck, the back of the spine, and the lower spine area. So those are the areas, if you have clairvoyant vision, that you'll want to look for those things. Hey, Joshua. Now, here's another question. If you notice that, should you tell the person that they have it? That's a tricky question, because I would say if you're super, super close to that person and you trust each other implicitly, like a husband and a wife or mother and daughter, but otherwise I would be hesitant to bring that up, because you might just scare that person so much that they would close down and not be open to getting any help. So you can talk about such things in a roundabout way to maybe they would be a little bit more open and maybe ask a few more questions about that kind of thing. And that way you could kind of work them into getting some help. So this is the most common thing that we see with entity attachments, is discarnate human attachments. These are the confused dead that sense and see the light coming from a human body that is pretty vibrant, and they want to attach to that. Thank you, Trish. They want to attach to it. The number one reason is it makes them feel normal. It makes them feel more complete. It kind of is a pseudo sense for the body that they've lost. And so they will attach to that simply for no other reason but to feel better. These attachments can be kind of innocent because they don't realize that they're drawing energy from that living person, and they may be actually hurting that living person. So sometimes I will have to communicate with the spirit attachment in order to explain to them that what they've done is sort of damaging the person that they're attached to. Hey, Marshall. So now here's another one. I don't know how common it is, but alien entity attachments are possible as well. And those are actually worse than human ones, because they are placed in an attachment with a human being because they are wishing to monitor things intentionally, and it is an energy feeding exercise of manipulation, and they strictly are drawing energy from that human being and monitoring that human being. So that's a parasitic attachment right there. And those are talked about really widely on the internet. Demonic attachments have also been known to happen. These are extremely rare. I want to make that known because there are a lot of paranormal groups that believe that, you know, everything is a demon and, you know, every attachment is an oppressive demon, and that's not necessarily true. Demonic attachments are extremely, extremely rare. They're extremely difficult to get rid of, and it does require an exorcism to get rid of there. Hey, Terry. Hey, Sam. Nice to see you on here. If you like these Monday night broadcasts, go ahead and hit that share button on your screen and share this with your friends, and that way more people can join in this fun on Monday nights that we have. Okay, now let's get on to getting rid of attachments, because I have a few people that are really, really interested in this, and I really didn't want to delay any further getting to this material, but I still wanted to go over the other stuff. Okay, so the first way to get rid of an attachment is to simply starve it out. Whatever thoughts have been attached to you that aren't your own. Remember, one of the symptoms was a change in personality and a change of the mood and a change of, you know, friends. Whatever change has taken place, let's say depression. You haven't had depression before, but suddenly you get an attachment, you get this overwhelming depression. So what you want to do is replace the emotion of depression with something extremely positive and projective. What that does is every single time that depression kicks in and you replace it with that positive energy or that positive thought and that positive push forward, what happens is the entity gets that reaction every time you replace it. And so when they produce that depressive emotion and you replace it with the positive, that sort of pushes their energy out. And then they realize, okay, every time I try to do this, this is what happens. That's not my objective. And so eventually they decide to leave after that. Hey, Greta. So that is like a replacement of a positive opposite. And so what happens is sooner or later the entity learns that an attempt to induce this action creates the opposite effect, and they have no choice but to leave after that. So basically you're just starving out the energy, and if it is a negative thought form or etheric parasite, they strive to produce the negative energy that they need to live off of. If you can recognize what energy that it is that they need to live off of, and then simply not give that emotion to them, they don't have the energy to feed off of you, and so they are forced to go to another host because they're not getting that negative energy that they need to feed off of. So that's the first way. The second way is a little bit more difficult, and you're going to have to learn lucid dreaming in order to do that. And there's so many references on Amazon and on the internet on how to do lucid dreaming. What lucid dreaming is, most people dream and they're not in control of their dreams. The dream happens and they're just like a watcher or a passive person that's participating in the dream. They don't have any control of it. When you study and learn how to do, hey Mike Van Zant, when you study and learn how to do lucid dreaming, what you're doing is actively participating in the dream. what that does is allows you to interact with this entity attachment and dislodge it at the etheric level. So what you're going to do is enter into this lucid dreaming state, and you're going to do a scan of the area, and you're going to say to yourself, I want to see whatever is attached to me. Now, you may see a representation of a thing kind of crawling around, or being attached to a tree, or attached to something. That's going to be a signal that this is the entity that you're looking for. And then what you're basically going to do with your mind is to just have a confrontation on the etheric plane with it, and, you know, overpower it there and just kick it out or conquer it at that etheric level. But it takes a little practice, and you need to learn lucid dreaming to do that. And the next way to get rid of an entity attachment is even more complex. So, now, okay, I wanted to clue you into one of the ways to get rid of a simple etheric attachment. And if you guys want to read more about this, I really suggest you get any of Robert Bruce's writings, and particularly if there's a simple, basic attachment like a thought form. This is one of the ways that Robert Bruce put in his New Energy Ways technique, is to shuttle energy back and forth in the area with which you believe that entity is attached to. And then what you're going to do is to take a long hour bath in salt water. A trip to the ocean will do just as well, but the salt is a very aura cleansing type of chemical. It's been known for thousands of years to rid negative energy from people's homes, from their person. I would suggest for my practice, I would suggest using consecrated salt, because that has an added energy level to it. So let me see, I've missed some comments here. Hey Eden, hey Yasmin, hey Pam. So Pam has had out-of-body experiences in my sleep. Yes, they are real. This is, Pam, an ultimate time when you have an OBE and you know how to do lucid dreaming. That is an optimal time to dislodge any kind of entity that's been attached to you. So Patricia has a comment. Could it show up as a very violent nightmare? That was one of the symptoms back on page 1. That was one of the symptoms that I had down for entity attachment, is really bizarre, haunting, and horrifying dreams. If it's out of the norm of your usual, that needs some stronger work. So Sam says it does work. Yes. So this energy shuttling technique that Robert Bruce is describing is a real easy one for simple attachments. And I would probably use that and the salt bath after, like, maybe investigating a haunted location or something like that. So Pam says night terrors. Yes. There is usually something really weird about the night terror dream, and the entity will usually show itself so that you can kind of see what it looks like. It's not really what it looks like. It's going to project the worst case scenario to your mind so that you become fearful. When you become fearful, the attachment works in even deeper. So let's go over another way to release or get rid of etheric attachments, and that is to resort to psychic methods. And psychic methods would be any type of banishing ritual. There are tons of banishing rituals. I even have one in my book, Banishment of Negativity, on Kindle. So if you'd like to know more about that, you just go on to Kindle and type in Banishment of Negativity. My name will pop up there. And if you have Kindle Unlimited or Amazon Unlimited, you can read it for free. So what they talk about here in this lesser banishing ritual, it's using a pentagram and some Catholic gestures to rid core images that have been imprinted at the soul level of these entities. So, for an example, you would be visualizing a photograph being pulled from your inner core, a vision, like a traumatic memory from the past. You would visualize it as a photograph being pulled from the core, and then you would visualize that photograph being burned and flipped over, and as it's flipped over, that's when you would see the entities that are attached to the other side of that photograph of those traumatic memories. And so then he goes through a whole big core image removal. And so if you want to know more about this, you're going to get Robert Bruce's writings on core images and the lesser banishing ritual, and that will tell you everything you need to know about that. It's pretty complicated, and you really have to have strong psychic abilities to complete that process. So I would stick with these other ones. I actually think the best one, hey George McKinney, hey Amanda, my thought is the best one is to use the lucid dreaming technique. And I have used that on many occurrence several times when I've, accidentally dragged something home and we started noticing that things were kind of not right at the house. The energy was really thick. Lights were going on and off. Doors were opening and closing. And so that's when, and especially in conjunction with a recent investigation or a recent home cleansing. It doesn't happen very often anymore because we keep the house kind of really locked down with protection, and after each investigation or house cleansing, we kind of do a personal cleansing afterwards. So it doesn't happen very often, but it can happen. And so I am going to see if there's anything else in here. Here was another thing. If you're having dreams about like insects, crabs, spiders, black globules, etc., anything kind of black mass in your dream, that's a big indicator for an etheric parasite, which is a thought form. And not a lot of people know about thought forms, but they're readily created by human beings who put off an extreme amount of negative emotion. So Kathleen has a comment. Could I please repeat the name of the author you mentioned earlier? Okay, it's Robert Bruce. And let me go back and see what the name of this stuff is that he wrote. He's one of the biggest people in the field of getting rid of negative attachments. The name is Robert Bruce, and the writing is called New Energy Ways. Specifically, you want to look at active dreaming, core images, and lucid dreaming techniques. Hey, Connie. So the lucid dreaming techniques are, I think, the best technique to use. But I think that Bruce uses the New Energy Ways, this technique of shuttling the energy back and forth in the area you think that the attachment has gotten hold of. Now, when you're scanning your body energy, you're going to want to see which area is feeling the heaviest. If you are having trouble with, let's say, depression, and you're feeling extremely heavy in the heart area, that most likely is the area that has the attachment to it. If you're feeling oppressed and the area of heaviness is in the head and you're having depression, then this could be the area of the attachment. Now remember, any place down the central nervous system, is particularly in the back, is where they attach. Hey, Georgia. Nice to see you. So those are the areas that you want to focus on with these new energy wave techniques of this shuttling the energy back and forth. And Robert Bruce goes into it and more in his, his writings. So, and you can get any of his books on Amazon. He's a well-known author. So, yeah. Vanishing. We need to do it. We need to take care of our energy. We need to make sure that nothing is attached to us. And if something has, we need to know how to get rid of it. So, hey, Sam, I'll see you later. And we are, I think, let me check our time. Yes, we are about out of time. So, but if you guys think of any questions that you want to know, please put them in the comment section and I will answer every single one. And I will go back and put the video for psychic protection on the comments. And anything else that you might need, I can put in the comment section. So just ask me. If you like these Monday Night Live broadcasts, hit that share button and share this with your friends. And in your comments section, put ideas on shows that you want to see. I'm going to start an alien series, Alien Encounters. So that's coming up, and that's going to be really a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to that. David's down in the yard. Hey, David. He's clipping weeds tonight, so I got him working. I will see you guys next Monday night. And kisses from Kentucky. Hit that notifications and see first, too, so that you don't miss out on any of this stuff. And hopefully this will share tonight and save, and I'll put it on my YouTube channel tomorrow. So kisses from Kentucky. See you guys later. Night.